Hey guys, this is Ron Knock right here. I'm doing a big purchase that I don't know how I feel about it yet. Extremely excited, extremely nervous, but she's gonna love it. Alright, so we got here a little late. We're coming back tomorrow. I'm so nervous. I've never bought anything this nice for myself. Hopefully it works out. I will see you guys tomorrow in the daylight. It's late, but she's home. Well, everyone meet Sally. Why did I buy this thing? Oh boy. I honestly don't even know what to say about this thing yet. But this is my 2017 Mustang GT Fastback that I got for quite a bit less than what it would be worth, and that is because it is a rebuilt title. But it is a 6-speed MT82 with a good old 5.0 Coyote sitting up front of that. And the car is in a very gorgeous yellow. I went with the yellow because of my mom. It's her favorite color. Now this car, it looks nice, but it ain't perfect. Like I said, it's a rebuilt title. I got it for pretty cheap. I planning on maybe getting rid of these rims. I feel like they're too bright for this car. I feel like dark rims would make this thing look a lot better. And right here, I feel like this whole thing is actually replaceable. I think the only problem is that this one's a yellow one. You don't see yellow Mustangs very often. This trim piece is missing here. And then there's right here, which I believe the reason why that's there is this car used to have a stripe going right down the middle, kind of like a GT 350, but it was taken off at some point. Alright, so check that out. This car is basically brand new, even though it's a 2017. This car hardly seen any miles, and I will do more of why I hardly saw miles, because I pulled up the Carfax report, because this car just has an interesting history to it. It really does. Seems like nobody wanted to buy it, but that's all I'm going to say for now. I will get into the history on the Carfax report. Yeah, it's literally a brand new car. There are no lights on. It's brand new. The only thing I wish it had was Sync 3, and I wish it had the shaker system in it, but I'm probably going to put aftermarket audio in it anyways. I had to get a manual. Save the manuals, hosses. Save them. Got oil pressure. I'm honestly not even sure what that is, but I've never had anything of this caliber before. They got an AFR gauge, which is honestly really cool. I had no clue this car had this, but I noticed that this might actually have the full track pack. I don't know if it does or not, but it has something else to show you in a second. Cylinder head temp, I've never had that before. Intake air temp, this does have a cold air intake, which I'll show you in a second. This was showing me an actual temperature, the oil temperature, but I think I accidentally turned that off. Voltage there, which if I get aftermarket audio, that will come in handy. It was doing about 27 miles to the gallon coming back from Detroit, Michigan. That's where the car came from. But of course I've been doing a lot of idling and around town driving, so we're down to 23. Now this is just right there, line lock. They weren't messing around with this car. Launch control, I haven't even tried that yet. I've heard pretty rough things about using the launch controls on the pre-2018 Mustangs. At least the manuals. I did actually do a acceleration timer yesterday. That was my first time ever trying to really launch this car, and that was pretty quick. I feel like I could do better than that though. All-time best. Oh, somebody reset this, or nobody's ever launched it. And it leads me to believe that this is a garage queen, or was. I don't know why this car has that in here. It's a manual. It's never shut off when I came to a stop, so it just doesn't make sense. Of course, I turned the hill start assist off. Honestly, this car, I don't even know why this car has that. It has so much torque. I guess if you were going up a 50-degree angle. Yeah. It really, really... Sally is a beautiful, beautiful woman. Hood ajar. The hood's ajar. Ed, you better be watching this. This has to be the easiest hood that I've ever opened. But Ford, come on, hood struts? Why does my big town car have that, but this doesn't? Oh yeah, there's the cold air intake. I have no clue if this was part of a package from the car and it came with it, or it's aftermarket, but it is nicely installed. But yeah, judging by this engine bay, this car really is basically brand new. Just getting in the right here, it is so clean. And that engine's got some big heads on it. Not sure how I feel about the battery being there. Also on this car, and I have no clue if this car, like I said with the cold air intake, I have no clue if this exhaust came with the car or not. Maybe somebody familiar with Mustangs can help me out here. All the way down in there, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it does look like this has an X-pipe. Now it's really hard to tell. I'll see if I can get a better angle. It looks like it's basically an X-pipe and muffler delete. That's basically all it is. Yeah, that is an X-pipe. If you have a car with a Coyote, you have to get an X-pipe. If you don't get that X-pipe, it's gonna sound like a depressed cat. That's my best explanation. All right, let's take this thing for a spin. I'm gonna add that this is literally the fastest vehicle I've ever driven. And it just happens to be a stick shift too. I will say I expected this clutch to be a lot more difficult than it is to use, but it's actually surprisingly easy to handle. Oh my God. Things you gotta do to get a minivan out of your way. Because I know they are going to get on the bypass for US 20 and they're gonna take forever to get up to speed. Flashback to Big Bertha's introduction video. We just took that turn at 30. That's 80. This car is literally, I don't know, it's a weapon, as people would describe a fast car. Literally a weapon. And to top it off, it makes you feel like you're going 30 miles an hour when you're doing 60. Like, I knew Big Bertha, my Lincoln Town car, she was always like that, but it was a different feeling of fast, or slow going fast. This is like, just doesn't care. One thing I will add is that you can change your steering modes, because this has an electronic power steering pump, and you can literally remove your power steering feel completely, and you actually feel the actual car and what it's doing and what it's going to do. Still learning this transmission, but I'll learn it. I'll figure it out. I will say, this car, when I first drove it, it felt like it was riding a horse. So I guess that's where the name that's where Mustang comes from. Or I named the car Sally because of the song Mustang Sally. Last week, I was with my parents and we were just in the truck, and my mom's yellow truck Bumblebee, and the song came on, Mustang Sally, and I told myself that's the sign. I'm gonna find the car that I want, which was a yellow GT manual. Now I will add, if you don't granny this, shift this out at first, it will start spinning the tires. And because of how much torque it has, you can literally just cruise in a parking lot in third gear. And it'll just rumble around. Now, because of the color, this car's already gotten me a lot of attention. I've gotten 5 compliments already. I got a compliment while I was test driving it. Now, that turn signal will never get old. Alright, before we go, I forgot one more thing. This thing has the Brembo brakes, which I didn't even know right off the bat until I test drove it. But you can see it right there. I have to say, those rotors got to be almost as big as the rims on Big Bertha. Those are some big rotors. This thing will literally put you through the windshield. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys like Sally. I don't plan on doing much with this car since I got Brenda to finish. Once Brenda's done, I might start doing stuff with this. For now, this is my stress relief toy, and something that'll help me get through this year and not end up like last year where I just get like burned out and depressed. You know, I was pretty depressed last year, I'm not gonna lie. I felt pretty numb. I feel like this car is gonna help that. Throttle therapy is a real thing. If you feel down, just hit that skinny pedal. You'll feel it. Thank you for watching.